YouTube.
Bye, Cherie. You're saying goodbye to Cherie?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we are live on YouTube, and I'm turning this mic over to you, Sharon. This mic is all yours.
Okay, I think he wants me to read this.
Yeah, if you want to do the introduction, please.
Okay. I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do because he who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal.
Yeah, this is kind of my get out of jail free card if I mess up. Anyway, yeah, thank you. Let me scroll down. Oops, wrong page. And I've only got one essay. Oh, you might get a kick out of this.
You remember, Helen, when I get my inspiration, you will understand why Cherie loved this cartoon. I hate it when he gets an idea in the middle of the night.
Okay, so here we
I
go.
have, okay. So I have only one essay I want to share today, but it points to three others I have put in the chat. I
I
will
will
also.
actually.
All right, so we're going to seeing beyond the body's eyes, right?
Yes. And I'm
And
going
then
to
I
start
go,
that right now.
okay, and you want me to read everything for today will appear here, so just keep reading. All
No,
right,
no,
so
not yet. Not yet. No, we're going to do this first.
free access to volume 5 of my 5 spiritual. Okay. Okay, we got to get that paper.
Yeah, I know. It takes me a second.
That's okay.
I'm not as fast as I used to be.
I'm not
And
either.
let me move it over.
I don't know, this cold, that the cold and the temperature has gotten me so tired. I guess that's what it is. I'm coming up with a reason like I know. Seeing beyond the body's eyes. When people talk about non duality, they often treat it like a philosophical idea. Agree with it, and you're enlightened. But the Course makes something very clear. Pure non duality cannot be reached while we rely on the body's eyes. The body's eyes were made to see only separation, they can't show anything else. The Course suggests the body's eyes see only form. Form is the ego's language. It divides everything into pieces, categories, and opposites. Eyesight shows a world that is always this or that. What happened?
I'm sorry. There we go.
When people
I,
talk about, okay, the Course suggests the body, okay, because vision is different. Vision is not improved of eyesight. It is entirely different mode of awareness. The Course tries to make clear vision is not the eyes, but the mind. Vision recognizes the truth beyond appearances. It doesn't override the eyes. It simply stops believing them. I have written before that eyesight will always see bodies. Only vision will see spirit. And that is true. That line sits at the heart of Course's teachings. As long as I depend on the body's senses, I'm agreeing to see the world the ego made. Eyesight keeps me inside a closed loop of duality. This is why pure non duality requires going beyond the body's eyes. So I'm going to stop here. Does anyone want to share anything? The physical eyes aren't wrong. They're just limited. They help me navigate stairs and freeways and the dentist's waiting room. but they can never show me the truth of who I am. Their purpose is a survival inside a dream. They were never meant to recognize the light behind the dream. You know, it's funny, you can't just read this quickly because it just seems like reading it slower, you can really grasp like it's behind. So he's saying they were never meant to recognize the light behind the dream, behind these like fabrication, these ideas that we're just looking at that are just from the mind that don't even belong to us, really, because these ideas are ideas that we made up and none of them are real. I'm not seeing reality, I'm seeing a projection. You know, today was a day that I reminded myself whenever I could that I'm projecting this. Because when you say you're projecting it, right then and there, it stops the mind. The mind can't go anywhere because it doesn't know what you're even saying. I mean, it stops the ego mind. This theme has come up in several of my essays. In the holographic plate, I described how every broken piece contained the whole image. The body's eyes look at fragments and swear they are separate. Vision recognizes the wholeness in every part. That comparison still feels true to me. The eyes show the shattered pieces, but the mind that chooses vision sees the complete sunset reflected everywhere.
I'm sorry.
In Which Am I Hearing? I explored how much most of us assume the narrator in our mind is neutral. It isn't. The ego narrates everything the eyes see and then tells us its interpretation is fact. If I don't question that narrator, right? If I don't say, whom are you speaking to? That's what Robert Adams always says that in his books, to ask, whom are you speaking to? Who are you speaking to when the mind talks? And it'll just won't say anything. I'll never question what the eyes show. Vision begins the moment I start accepting the ego's commentary as truth. And in bodies everywhere, I reflected on how eyesight will always insist on body identification. Eyesight keeps me glued to the part and blind to the whole. Vision lets me look through the body instead of at it. Vision notices the call for love beneath every form. Eyesight only notices the form. The Course echoes this again and again. You do not see because you do not recognize. Recognize. Recognition is an inner experience that has nothing to do with the body's sense organs. It's an act of willingness, not an act of looking. This is why forgiveness is so central to vision. Forgiveness doesn't change what the body's eyes show, it changes how I interpret it. As I stop judging forms, the ego's use of eyes starts to loosen. Vision naturally, because judgment falls away. Vision is the mind's way of saying, I want truth more than I want to be right about what I see. The Course also teaches what you see reflects your thinking. If my thinking is bound to the ego, I see a dualistic world. If my thinking shifts towards the Holy Spirit's interpretation, I'll start recognizing the light behind the appearances. This is beautiful. So straightforward. This is why pure non-duality cannot be achieved by staring harder at the world. Eyesight can take me there. Eyesight can't take me there. Only vision can, because vision bypasses the body altogether. Does anybody want to share? Anybody want to read? Share my reading time? Karen's here too now. Hi, Karen. Even in my essay on channeling, I touched this idea when I noted if the words amazed you after sharing, you were probably channeling. Inspiration doesn't enter through the eyes. Listen to this. It comes from the part of the mind that already remembers oneness. Any moment of inspiration, clarity, or sudden peace is a moment beyond the body's senses. Non-duality is not a sensory experience. It's the recognition that the senses were never real. The Course crystallizes this in the line you and I come back to often. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. The body's eyes show only what is unreal. Vision shows what cannot be threatened. That is why the two cannot be reconciled. So the path is simple, even if it isn't always easy. I use the eyes when I need them. I let them report the dream, but I stop asking them to tell me what anything means. Meaning comes from the mind aligned with spirit. Meaning comes from vision. Does anybody want to share any more? Any of this? And as vision grows, the world softens. The sharp lines of separation begin to blur. Conflicts lose their force. Grievances loosen. Encounters feel lighter. Yeah, the grievances do loosen and the encounters feel lighter. I no longer react to the forms the eyes present. I respond to the love or fear beneath them. That is the beginning of non-duality. To be beyond the body, to go beyond the body's eyes is not to deny them. It is to stop depending on them. It's to remember they made to describe a lie, not to reveal the truth. Non-duality is the recognition that behind everything the eyes report is one light, one mind, one sun. And the one sun is all light, really. And vision is how we begin to see it. Okay, so now Robert is asking, does anybody have a comment? And this would be Karen. Karen, go ahead.
Thanks for reading, Sharon. Thank you, Robert. Beautiful writing. And so course. And it's reminding me of lesson 42. God is my strength. Vision is his gift. And I was recently looking at Ken's commentary to this, and I never thought about this before. But the way Ken talks about this lesson is God is my strength is the cause, and the effect is the vision. And I never thought of it as a cause and effect. I just, never did. So I just want to read what Ken writes. His first paragraph is so beautiful. And it's exactly what you're sharing, Robert. It's pretty much right on point with what Sharon just read. So the cause and effect relationship is that if I know God walks with me and he is my strength, I shall automatically perceive through the eyes of his love and holiness. Christ's vision comes from the thoughts, I am holy and part of God. When I look out, which, as we have learned, has nothing to do with our physical eyes, all I shall see are figures in a dream, either expressing love and trying to return home, or still too afraid of love and attempting to attack it. In other words, the cause is my remembering who I am, and the effect is the vision that sees all people as part of the one sonship, regardless of the disparate forms. So I just really love this. And I always seem to learn more when I read Ken's commentary. Like I never really thought of it as cause and effect, first of all. And second of all, it always comes back to, for me, forgetting the truth of who I am, forgetting that I am not this body, and I remember when I remember that the truth of what I am is not this body. I'm not looking through the body's eyes and seeing form. I see the form. I don't get me wrong. I still see bodies. I see the form, but I don't take it as judgment. I don't judge it like I used to. I see it as behavior is either love or a call for love. The judgment is dissipating, and it's just so beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, I
Thank
love
you.
that, Karen. That was beautiful. And true, too.
Just so you know, I put the links, this essay talks about other essays. I put links in the chat, and I'm going to leave them there. You guys can get them later. Rico, go ahead.
Thank you, Robert. Good evening, family and friends. Thank you for allowing me to be here with you. I send you love and life from my heart to yours. And that makes me feel good. Rob, I just want to tell you, man, you really cleared up some things for me in terms of sight, in terms of the physical eye and what vision not only alludes to, but what it points directly to. I was a little fuzzy on the vision part, not from your writing, but from what I've been through so far. And I was looking for clarity on that. And this essay really helped me with that because early on, I was the guy in the corner always praying for Christ's vision. That's one of the things I wanted to have, and one of the things I will have. But that really is definitive for me the way you wrote that, for me to see the different things that's assigned to what vision is and what sight, eyesight, physical eyesight is not. So it really cleared up. So all that in Ebonics, I just want to say thank you, my friend. I appreciate you.
Thank you,
I love
Rico.
you. Thank you.
Mickey?
I also just want to say thank you, Robert. It's beautiful, your writings, and I so enjoy your sharing and the readings. Thank you.
Thank you. Mickey?
That was so spot on, and it reminded me of a couple of things. One is something that we read in What is the Real World in part 2 of the workbook. And in paragraph 1, sentence 4, it says, the real world cannot be perceived except through eyes forgiveness blesses. So they see a world where terror is impossible and witnesses to fear cannot be found. And that's, when all the stuff that Bob was talking about, when we have vision instead of eyesight, is summed up in that one sentence. And I wrote in this page in my book a quote that Ken Wapnick cites frequently in his lectures when he's talking about this kind of stuff. And it's a William Blake poem. And I did not write down the name of the poem, darn it. But the lines go, this life's dim windows of the soul distorts the heavens from pole to pole and leads you to believe a lie when you see with, not through the eye.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's so beautiful. And those are all completely in line with what you wrote, Bob. And I just love it. Thanks.
Anybody else want to comment? Yeah, oh, sorry, Rafi. I didn't see your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to say how strongly this reminded me to not look at everybody as a person, but as the divine love that they really are. And as soon as I do that, well, all sense of judgment just vanishes.
Yeah.
And then how automatically we are just by being serving. And what happened then was, as soon as I was doing that, a lot of wanting control came up. I don't want it to be this way. I want it to be that way. My mind started to go nuts, and I just got a hold of it all. It just was a sensation in my gut. I opened up and just brought it, welcomed it, and let it go, and I got right back into peace again. And everybody is divine love with the reality of what they are, instead of these little puppet figures that the ego wants to judge as on my side or, the enemy. Thank you. That was really beautiful.
Thank you. I have to tell you though, it's one thing to be able to know this, and it's another thing to be able to live it constantly. And I say that because this week with Sharon in the hospital has been a week of triggers. And I can't tell you the number of times I totally lost it and went into ego on steroids. Now Sherry's over here laughing, but that's exactly what happened, right? Yep. Okay. But the good news is, when we know the ego speaks first and loudest. We get that. I get that. The problem is, I let it talk. And when I finally say, wait a minute, I could see peace instead of this, and all of a sudden, the ego shuts up, and Bob starts to listen. Bob becomes a little more loving, a little more caring, a little more understanding, and just a little bit less of an asshole. Yeah, Brooklyn.
Namaste, mighty companions. Oh, Bob, that was wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. This reminds me, I took the subway today, and if I were to see people as people, I would have been afraid, but I didn't. I had to go somewhere, and then I did some food shopping, so I'm carrying packages and everything. And I go on the subway, and people not familiar with New York won't, I don't know if you could relate to this, but there's the end seat where two people could fit. And sometimes people use that for their bags. And you can't really say anything, about wanting to sit because of the bag. And I just said, "Oh, excuse me." And he took his bag off. I says, "Thank you." And then I'm trying to get out. There's someone standing right near the door. Instead of going to another door, I said, "Excuse me." And the guy turned around and smiled. And then going down the steps, I'm walking down holding the handrail because I have packages and I like to be careful. And it was a guy just hanging out in my way. And, I said, "Excuse me." And he moved, and I thanked all of them. It's, when you can see the Christ in people, like, and especially the guy with the one seat, he looked pretty scary with all the tattoos. But anyway, I won't get into that. I'm very grateful that yeah, I'm so grateful we're more than bodies. Oh my God.
It's beautiful when we can start looking through different eyes. Karen.
Thank you, Brooklyn. That was precious. Yeah, I'm just wondering, Robert, how long have you been practicing the course?
I think I started around 1990, somewhere around there. I'm not really sure.
Because your writings are astounding. I mean, your concept of knowing the course is astounding, but I love what you just shared. You know, it doesn't matter how much we know the course, it's do we live the course? That is everything. And I just love what you shared, and I love your honesty. And I think it's so important to share that. Luigi, Stephen Dean, and Leon Joel Russell have their newest podcast out, and it's on the Manual for Teachers. And Luigi shared that he still loses his shit. He, in his words, I still lose my shit, you know? And like, I was so happy he said that. We all lose our shit, okay? And so we're not here to deny that we lose our shit. And so for me, it also reminds me in lesson 93, light and joy and peace abide in me. But like you said, the ego speaks first and loudest. In almost every lesson, he starts out with the ego speaking first and loudest. It starts out that you think you're the home of evil, darkness, and sin. But then the lesson is light and peace and joy abide in me. So Ken Wapnick says that we have to look at the evil, darkness, and sin before we can get to the light, joy, and peace. So we have to go through the darkness to get to the light. And I'm experiencing that right now. I'm going through some darkness and the light is coming. I see the light. I am not in a rush. I'm going through what I need to go through because, you know, this is some stuff that we go through are not always easy. And, you know, I'm not going to pretend it is. I'm not going to say I don't know the course and I don't practice the course because I do. But right now, I'm having a difficult time. So I'm respecting my power of decision. I'm respecting where I'm at. I'm meeting myself where I'm at, and I'm okay. Because I'm looking, you know, and this is not easy what I'm going through for me. For me, it's not easy. It might be easy for someone else, but for me, it's not. So I'm being honest about it. And yeah, I lose my shit, but you know what? I look at it and I'm grateful that I can look at it. And I know that all things work together for good. I trust that. So I love when people talk about when they lose their shit. I just love it because we all do. And we're all normal. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to jump in here ahead of Matthew and Michele just for a minute because there's a passage in the Bible that I'm going to share a little bit about it. And there's going to be some disagreement. That's okay. But to me, it reflects exactly what we're talking about. There's a passage where Jesus is alleged to have chased the money changers out of the temple. And I know, all due respect, Lynn, you disagreed that that would be likely. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know. I'm not here to get into a pitching match. But what if, just what if, that was a situation that where Jesus lost his shit and actually got mad? Who knows? Anyway, Matthew.
Yeah, I was at a cafe this afternoon with three gentlemen that I know very well. And the two of them were very heavy, heated discussion about the nature of the universe, the Big Bang Theory, and is the universe circular, and is it this, and is it that? And they were going on and on and on and on and on about their views of the universe and what it. And I threw in, I said, yeah, but you know, does it have to be here? Why is it here? And then one guy made a joke. He said, because then I could go over to that counter and buy that dessert over there. That's why it has to be here. And we had a good laugh about that. And then they were going on about something else about the universe and things. And my mind wanted to jump in and like, you know what I know spiritually? Well, I mean, that was so ego. So I held back and I said, when they turned to me to respond to something that I said, they kept talking about scientist. This scientist said that. This scientist said this. This physicist said that. This scientist said. And I said, well, Einstein said that the universe is either your friend or your enemy, and you have, and whatever you decide is right. Well, everything came to a dead stop. The guy looks, says, Einstein said that? I said, yeah, huh? Okay. And apparently it was exactly the right thing to say at the right. I didn't even know I was going to say it. But it fit in exactly with the way their conversation was going. And it was completely effortless. And so whatever it was, I was divinely guided to say that. And then I looked at it and I said, well, we're divinely guided to do everything. Otherwise, since, stay in acceptance. We weren't supposed to be sitting here at these tables having this conversation. We wouldn't be. What's am I to learn from that? To learn from that is to, whenever I speak, let the power of the being of God's consciousness speak through me instead of coming from some ego. You know what I know? You know how much I know? You know how cool I am? And all that other stuff, which of course is just deadly poison. Anyhow, I just wanted to share that. Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think we all go through that. McKinley.
Oh, a couple things, Robert. First, I think you said Mickey go ahead earlier, and sometimes some people call me Mickey. So if
I know.
Mickey's,
Sorry.
I want to apologize. Please forgive me. And I know nobody judges.
Oh gosh, no, because I know your name's you were the first Mickey here, so I feel like the usurper.
That's hilarious. Well, Michaela is fine, so we don't get Mickey and Mickey 2 all mixed up. So I apologize for that. And then the second thing is I had such a fun day today because I had to get my labs drawn and I had doctor's appointments, all sorts of things. And I was working on really stepping back and being the observer. And it's so beautiful. It's like a domino effect how life just flows in that beauty. And even while I was sitting there getting my labs drawn, and I have veins that roll. So I'm not an easy
You want
patient.
to hang on with you?
They had they said the quote of the day, and it was from the book of Psalms, and it was just so beautiful, and everything was just really flowing from the right mind, and people were smiling. It's kind of what Brooklyn had talked about earlier. They feel it from you. It's definitely a frequency of vibration, and I love it. And thank you for your sharing, Robert. Thank you so much, and everybody sharing.
Thank you. Sharon?
I love what everybody's sharing, and I wanted to say what Karen shared is so important, with the idea that Luigi said losing his shit, because that's the model, the truthful model that helps me. Like I was with two teachers on my path, and they would never say they ever lost their shit. So I thought always, well, I'll never get where they are. And the truth is that none of it matters because you're not the ego, and we don't have to always, it's hard for me, at least for me, to always think of everyone as my brother and all that other stuff because I fall back. And do we live it? Well, the way I live it is the best I can every single moment. But when I fall off, so what? And that's what I've told myself, because I think that what Karen's gone through, I mean, there's no way that I wouldn't you know, in I can't explain it. It's so hard when your body is under some kind of stress, and especially this kind of stress. And I feel like we all are doing the best we can, but I can say this course has made my life better. And isn't that the whole motive here? The whole thing, it's made my life better. I don't start with people. I don't have to be right anymore. And most of all, I don't even bring up politics to people anymore because that seems to have died. And so all of that is progress, but I think he's asking for progress, not perfection. So that's all. It was very helpful what you said, Robert, because when you said, do we really live it? No, not 24/7. I live it when I can, and I forget sometimes. And the perfection is really the Christ, not the person. The person's not even there. So that's all. Anyway, thanks.
Well, the other piece of information too is while we're talking about losing our shit, is the only place we're losing our shit is in the dream. Because we are
Oh, I
still
love that. Yeah.
we are still one with God from when we started. Well, even that's not true. We have no beginning, we have no end. So that will never change. We can only lose our shit here. So, Deb.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you all. And I just have to pipe up a little bit because I love what Robert just said. I love what everybody's been sharing, but it's only in the dream. It's only when I listen to the ego. It's only when I'm filled with doubt, concern, worry, that I, I would be in this state considered losing my shit. But the truth is, I had been in that state, which feels like a couple of years. And this is after years of course study, years of 12 step. And I had retreated. I've shared this, the pandemic, and then moving in with my elderly father, and then just narrowing my social circle, which social is a part of our mental health. But I believed so firmly in this course that God would take me on the final step if I just prayed and I meditated. But my activity got less and less and less until I became very confused about what's is self-care and what's God's job and what's my job. And I really think the darkness was so dark that I was on the threshold of not surviving. And I can't tell you what I wanted more, to die or, as I've said before, to murder. That's not true. I can't tell you if I wanted to die or I was afraid of dying. It was so confused and so split in my mind. And I met Luigi on Zoom 2 years ago, and his teachings helped me to go within, and I learned some stuff from him that I had never realized. And once I saw it, I knew it was truth and there was nothing I could do about it. It's kind of like God is outside the dream completely was news to me because I thought the spirit world would be heaven. And I can see now that the spirit world is part of the dream a little bit. And that when we really go to the light, when we're really in heaven, we're outside that entire. And some of this is just not completely understanding the course. And the biggest obstacle that I faced is I wanted to do it alone. I wanted to do it on my own. I'm a ridiculously self-reliant person. And so once again, I'm going to comment on you guys saving me, that just tuning in, just listening, just sharing, and I know I'm not on camera, but looking into your eyes, feeling, I feel your energy, and when I met Luigi, he said, Deb, don't think it's me. Like, we're always talking to ourselves. We're always raising our own vibration. But after all those years of work, I had gotten so tripped up in it that all I could hear was the ego's voice. And it just wasn't breaking through until the miracles that I have felt in the last few weeks and months. And I'm just so grateful. I could and I can see the shimmery light, and I know what we're talking about with true vision, God's reality, that nothing on earth compares, because it's almost like the heart lights up, like something inside that I can feel. Anyway, I still believe in the feeling, which I know I'm not a body, but the feeling of love and sharing and communication and these feelings of goodness because I can surrender to God's will. I can trust God's will. I can trust that my will is God's will and that I want perfect happiness for myself and all of you. And so we're doing it. We're doing it together. And thank you.
Okay, before I give it to Mickey and Brooklyn, I want to do something that I think you're going to get a kick out of. Everybody unmute yourself. And
Did
when
you
you're
say
all
unmute?
Yeah.
unmute, yeah, put your mics on just for a minute because I want to have some fun with this group especially. Okay, the only one missing is okay. Hi, my name is Bob, and I'm a control freak.
Hi, my
Okay,
name is
Bob.
Is
Deb.
Linda.
I'm a
I'm the control
freak.
No, I'm a control freak. I am. I am. No, I
Okay.
really am.
Thank you for that. Mickey, go ahead.
My name is Mickey, and I'm an egoholic.
Hi, Mickey.
I am addicted to the ego. Sharon, you said something before, and I leave your mic on for a second. I can't remember exactly how you phrased it, but it was something equivalent to when I fall off the path or something like that. Is that what you said? Or
I can't remember. I can't
I
remember.
can't.
I can't
Anyway,
remember anything anymore.
doesn't matter. You were like sometimes I'm there and sometimes I'm not, and sometimes I
Oh
fall.
no, I go spacey all over.
We never fall off the path.
No, we
Never.
can't. Yeah.
Once we're on it, we are on it, whether we're losing our shit or not.
Yep.
If
Yep.
as long as you can say while you're losing your shit, oh look, I'm losing my shit. Will you look at that? Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
You know, you're not off the path if you're losing it.
No,
You're
you can't
not.
get off the path because we're being led to stay on it. So I
Well,
don't know why, but we all are. Well, I do know why because we still have egos that we're hard on ourselves. Because like we're only talking to ourselves. What is the big deal?
right, right. Well, we keep measuring and comparing, and
Right.
comparison
That's the ego. Yeah.
joy. And it's as long as we can sit there and say, "Oh, look at that's the ego."
Right.
Oh, who said that? Who said that? To what, like you said before, to whom am I speaking? Who said that? Who
Right.
said that? That's
As soon as
all.
you ask, you can't. As soon as we ask, there's nothing. That's
Yeah,
what's so weird. Like there's
it's
nothing here.
that's what's so beautiful
It's beautiful. Yeah,
is
you're right.
that is
Yeah.
and you know even even the most deranged person on the street is on the path.
Yeah, you're
Even the
right.
most egotistical
Love that.
a-hole that we know, and the person's face just popped up in your mind, right? Is on the path. And the other day I looked at somebody. I had this little movie reel play in my head of me being attacked and looking at the person and saying, I see the Christ in you. And the person just froze. And, and, I was looking around the board before that came to my mind a little while ago. It keeps flashing up. And I was like, oh, wow, I see the Christ in Lynn. I see the Christ in Rico. I see the Christ in Bob. I just looked at everybody's face and I was like, oh my God, I can see the Christ in you. And you're, that's why everybody's on the path, because we can see the Christ in everybody.
Right. And we even know that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you,
it's
Mickey.
awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks. I'll
Brooklyn?
hand the mic.
Thank you, Mickey. You can control me anytime.
Brooklyn, go ahead.
Brooklyn had her hand up.
I just want to say, Michaela, I have floating veins too. And that can be a problem. I just so happen to have written a poem today that goes along with with what we've been talking about. There's something very important I'm waiting for. It means a lot to me. And I don't like the feeling of wanting the outcome a certain way. It gets me nervous. So, I wrote a poem about it. I call it OMG, as if I'm losing my shit. Electric sting of ego's voice. Do not be afraid, I am here. Together again, we know in sync. Even loss is a gift. Trust that truth will always answer, despite a sequel of ego stories. Want and need, echoes of pain as they scream for control. Together we embrace vibrations realized, notes that change in flow of home. Thank you.
Beautiful, thank you.
Beautiful.
Rafi,
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's awareness.
All right.
And that's exactly what she was going for. Oh, look, I lost my shit. That's awareness. I mean, and as soon as you do that, you recognize, wait a minute, that ain't me. That's it. That's the ego mind carrying on like that. But and when stuff like that happens, I go right into reminding myself, I don't have a name. I don't have a lifespan. I don't have a personality. I don't have an ancestry. I don't have an ethnicity. I don't have attitudes, resentments, plans, opinions, ideas, and all that other stuff. And then ego mind cannot know what to do about any of that. And it starts to get really quiet. And the quieter it gets, the quiet is, it not only leads to the truth, the quiet is the truth. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you. I love the way you put it, though. Every time things blow up for me and I see them blowing up for me, as soon as I see it, it's awareness.
thank you, Rafi. Mickey? Michaela, sorry.
That's okay. I just want to tell Brooklyn that that was a beautiful poem, and I also wanted to tell her that that I had a wonderful experience because minds are joined. That when the gal, I told her that they usually need when I went to get my blood drawn, the phlebotomist. I told her that they need to do a butterfly clamp. But I was coming as the observer and asking for help and coming from my right mind. She tried both arms at the crease at the elbow and could not get any return on blood. So I told her, go ahead and use my hand. So that's more painful. There was no pain whatsoever. She got it on the first try. There was no pain. I told her, because minds are joined, that she was the best phlebotomist that I ever had in my entire life. And I'm in my 60s. She was probably in her early 20s. And I really made her day. I said, you tell your boss that you need a raise. And that I said that. And she just laughed. And I told her what a beautiful room she had to work in because she had a window and it had rained that morning and the night before. And in Arizona, you don't get a lot of clouds. And we got beautiful clouds. And so she agreed, and she had a beautiful manzanilla tree outside her window that she could look at. And we really joined with the right mind. And I just want to say that I really enjoyed what Mickey said also on the Christ in me sees the Christ in you. And Karen and I, because Tara Singh has a whole cassette tape on that. He gave a whole talk on that. And Linda Evans, the actress from Dallas and from the Big Valley, she narrated that for Taraji. And Ken talks about that too, the mirror image. And Karen said that it actually, she found that it comes from First Corinthians in the Bible, in the scriptures. Some people like, according to their religion, like to call it the scriptures. So I'll call it the scriptures. And so that was really interesting. I love that quality that Karen has, that she can find that out, that she can decipher and slice it and really see where it comes from. And so that whole saying, the Christ in me sees the Christ in you, comes from First Corinthians. And the oldest books so far that we know that are on the planet are the Vedas and the Upanishads, and who knows, it might even be in there. So I think Shankaracharya might have said something from there too, and who knows where he got it from. So it's been a wonderful sharing, and thank you.
Thank you, Michaela. Anybody else? Well, while you're thinking and deciding, we were joking before about Mickey 1 and Mickey 2. Well, right here, Cherie was married before, as was I. Her other husband was also Bob. So he was Bob 1, and I'm Bob 2. So I thought you'd get a kick out of that. If nobody else has anything to share, then I would like to go to a couple of items of housekeeping. So you guys can take advantage of something. I've started to take all my essays and put them into book volumes. So Sharon, would you read this right here about free access?
Sure. You're talking about this free access to volume 5
Yeah,
of is that right?
yeah.
Spiritual Essays series has expired. Volume 6, 7, and 8 and 9 are now available on Kindle for free on Sundays and Wednesdays. That's good to know. Sundays and Wednesdays. Over the years, I have distributed over 1,100 copies of my books for free. Spiritual Essays Volume 10 through 15 will be published as quickly as possible while I'm still functioning. You're incredible. You really are. You are an incredible writer. I love your work.
Thank
And
you.
this whole group has been so wonderful. The whole point is we are one and we are all awake. We're not awake, but if we want to have fun and be in the ego sometimes, so what? I give you permission. I give myself permission too. Anyway, as long as I like everybody.
That's
If
an
I don't like
important
somebody,
thing.
then it's a problem.
Sharon, you make a good point. We've got to give ourselves permission to screw up once in a while.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
the nature of this beast. It's not the nature of God. It's not the nature of God's Son, but it absolutely is the nature of the ego and the body that made it. I'm sorry, the body and the ego that made it.
I just want to say that Deb, when she shared that, I agree with her. I need the groups. I'm a person that needs to be like, if I'm just reading by myself all the time, I'll feel differently than when I'm in this group. I do love to read by myself too, but this is definitely a great group of people.
You know what's so funny right now, Sharon, is McKaylee talking about her mind joining with the phlebotomist was like,
I know, I love that.
I can join with everyone.
Yeah. That's where we really are.
Well,
Thank you.
if you guys remember, about a month and a half ago, I put a little thing in the wrote an essay about an experience I had in the hospital where a baby was just absolutely going crazy and crying. And I decided to try to join in my mind, to join with that baby and quiet her down, telling her she was safe, she was loved, and she was always protected, and there was nothing to fear. And as soon as I did that, she got quiet. So, yeah, the only difference between that baby and her mom was the baby did not have all this drained out of her. The baby was still listening. Karen,
That was beautiful, Robert. I just want to remind myself what the Course says is that, minds are joined, bodies are not. We are already joined. And what we're here to remember for all of us is just to remember that we have the same interest. We all have the same interest in awakening from this dream. And the more that we can just, not judge, and when we do judge, don't judge ourselves. Just a quick example today, I was with my daughter and my grandson. And my grandson, he was so cute, but he'll cry. He'll start crying when he doesn't get his way, and he can really scream loud when he cries. So I started screaming loud with him and crying with him, like pretending, and then saying, "Look, look." And then I'd start making all these funny faces and crying and screaming and said, "That's what you look like. That's what you look like." And I started laughing. So he started laughing and I started laughing and he stopped crying. And it was just so fun. It was just like, so I joined with him in that way, just to, because he really just, it's a call for love. Everything is a call for love. So thanks.
you were talking before about bodies can't join, but the ego came up with a really neat idea about how to make that bodies join, and also made it a lot of fun, which was a big distraction. Now that goes away when you get a lot older. I'm sorry, I had to go there.
No, we love it. It's a fun night,
we
Robert. Thank you.
are rapidly approaching our time. So does anybody else have anything they want to say before I give it back to Lynn?
I
Oh,
love
okay.
everybody. I love you, Robert. I love everybody here.
Okay, before I forget, everybody, if you can, the essays that this essay referred to are in the chat. So take a minute to scroll up, copy those out of the chat, and save them if you want to see where they mesh together, because I don't think we've done the other one. And I am just about exhausted. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for the YouTube people that try to listen. And thank you, Lynn, for the opportunity to be here. And it's back to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. This has been really wonderful. If you go in the chat up in the very top, there's three little dots and a X, and there, if you click on those three little dots, there will come up a thing and it'll say save chat. And you can just click on that and save the chat, and it'll save the links and everything onto a file on your computer, so that and when you close this out, it will be right there. It should be.
Thank you. And by the way, if you guys ever want to comment on anything privately, you all have my email, robert@dinojamesbooks.com. So just write me. I love talking to people. So, Lynn, thank you.
I
Thank
want
you,
to just
guys.
say one thing. Lynn put this in. It's from text chapter 19, but I missed it in the book. The body is healed because you came without it. Do you see that, everybody? Why does it matter if we talk? Right? I mean, we're already healed. I love that. Thanks, Lynn.
Yeah.
I just
I mean,
saw
it's in the joining that
Yeah.
everything is healed. It's
Yeah.
in the joining. That's why that when we have the group, that's what is the beauty of the group. We're
Right.
joining.
That's
And
right.
when you're doing it on your own, yes, you can join your mind with your other mind, both of your minds together, and that could be a joining too. But that's not as easy to do as joining with other people in the flesh. So, all right, thanks, you guys. Thank you, Robert. And
Thank you. See you in the morning.
all righty, love you guys.
Big
Love
hug.
you, everyone. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Lynn. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
guys.
thank you. Good night.
Ooh, rainy days ahead, my computer says. Woohoo, rain. I love it.
Oh, yeah,
right.
we just finished a major rainstorm. It's
Well,
coming
we're
your
gonna get
way.
some too. Yay. All right, you guys. I love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow.